Simon, very good evening to you. What do we know?
Well, Ben, we're learning more with each passing hour here, and it is absolutely clear now that this was some kind of targeted attack on the Islamic Centre of San Diego that has left 3 people dead, including a security guard at the centre, the largest Islamic mosque and community centre in the city of San Diego. The authorities are suggesting that it was the actions of the security guard that may have prevented a larger death toll. Nonetheless, 2 other men also died in this shooting incident, and then after it was beginning to be contained by police as they responded with law enforcement officials to the scene of this attack, they found the bodies of 2 suspected gunmen in a car, apparently the victims of self-inflicted gunshot wounds. One of them just 17 years old, the other 19 years old. So 2 teenagers found dead at the scene, and they left behind, according to some reports here, indications that this was a hate crime. Indeed, there were writings on one of the firearms used in the attack, according to the reporting of the news of the New York Times, that had the words hate speech either written or engraved into the weapon. So it is quite possible that the federal authorities will seek to expand this inquiry and officially consider it either an act of terrorism or a hate crime, or possibly both. The precise circumstances of how the attack got underway and what role that security guard may have played in preventing a larger death toll are not yet known. But in San Diego, the community, much wider than simply the Islamic community, the community writ large in San Diego, reeling from this latest attack on a place of worship in the United States. And we are seeing all too many of those targeting a variety of different places of worships, different faiths, different religions and creeds. It is becoming a very depressing hallmark of life in American towns and cities as these acts of gun violence continue.
It is. And as you say, details still emerging. Stay with us here on LBC throughout the night for the very latest on that developing news story. Elsewhere today, Simon, I want to get your thoughts on suggestions that Iran is considering putting a multi-billion-pound bounty on the heads of both Donald Trump and the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, reports to that effect, that the Iranians are certainly considering the idea of putting a bounty up for, the capture of either the President of the United States or the Israeli Prime Minister. Of course, the 2 principals who have jointly decided to wage this war on Iran. President Trump, though, simultaneously not responding directly to that threat, but indicating that he has been asked by the rulers of Saudi Arabia, Qatar and the United Arab Emirates to shelve what the president says was a plan 24 hours from now to launch a fresh military assault on Iran. So President Trump taking to his Truth Social platform to say that after receiving those requests from the 3 leaders in the region, they have told him that they believe that a peace deal is potentially at hand, a deal that the president says will include no nuclear weapons for Iran. So he said that he decided to tell the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff not to go ahead with plans to resume hostilities in 24 hours' time against Iran, but he's made it absolutely clear in this posting that he's also directed them to remain ready to launch hostilities if the so far very elusive agreement between the United States and Iran once again proves not to be brought to fruition. So at least he's kicking the can down the road by 24 hours. Let's see where we are this time tomorrow, whether there's been any advance on the path towards a possible agreement.
And talking of the president's pet project, Simon, we know the White House is getting an almighty new ballroom. Further developments, it seems, that historic building set to take place as well.
Yeah, on the south lawn of the White House, they are planning to construct a helipad. This story was going to be revealed by the Washington Post, which was the first to find that information out. And when they questioned the White House and sought information from the White House delayed and obfuscated, and meanwhile were calling more friendly reporters and leaking the story out that way. This helipad, according to White House officials, is designed to prevent damage to the lawn of the South Lawn itself, because the new helicopters that will be used to ferry the president around, Marine One, are much heavier, and are likely to cause far more damage to the lawn, say White House officials, than the existing helicopters. So they're citing the risk of the lawn getting burnt by the engines of these choppers. But I think there's going to be a huge debate about this, as there is about any change that the president wants to make to the skyline, to the topography of the White House itself, because we've already seen he's paved over the Rose Garden, Jackie Kennedy Onassis's Rose Garden, turned it into a private dinner club where he hosts guests for soirees at the White House. Now more concrete going down this helipad on the South Lawn, and all of this once again being done without, it seems, consultation, permission, any kind of congressional oversight. But that's the latest makeover that he's got planned for the White House.
Hilarious. You couldn't write it, could you? It's sitcom stuff we're in now. Simon, thank you very much indeed, as always, for coming on. Simon Marks, LBC's Washington correspondent.